everyone. Welcome to episode 59 of the Penciled In Podcast. Lindsey and I are two working artists desperately trying to figure out why we do this to ourselves all the time. Today is our third groupie episode. We are going to preview what's coming up from independent publishers for 2023. Lindsey, would you like to introduce our guests today?
2023. Where did that come from? Today we have obviously Ingrid, Long Dog Designs, myself, Leg Day Cards. We have Richard Folks, RJF Design, and we have Richard Parks from RR Parks Cards.
Yay, welcome to the show, everyone.
Hello.
We also are speaking on behalf of Elaine Perna from Perna Cards and Attic Cards, who tried to be here, but it just didn't work. But he'll be on another time. So it would have been 6 of us, but they're all here in spirit. So welcome to the show. Who shall we start with? Well, first of all, the order of business today is, again, just to go through what small publishers have coming up for 2023 so that everyone can get on board and just follow us and support us and be super excited about all the cool stuff we've all got coming out. We should start. Who should we start with, Lindsey? Richard or Richard?
Let's start with Richard Folks.
Hey, that's me. I won. Yeah. Well, I wrote down a list last night trying to what am I doing this year? It was 2022 was a very interesting year for me. I only came out with one full set, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. My Halloween set every year for the last 3 years, I've done a drive-in double feature, and I have 95% of the materials now to do drive-in double feature, but because of my full-time job, I did not have time to get that out in October. So the first thing I'm going to do is put out first my promo set of drive-in double feature, and then the full set of drive-in double feature will be out first of the year. With the promo set, I'm also kicking off my new avant-garde cinema set with the movie Vampire, which is a silent film. I do have all the materials for Vampire, so it's perfect to roll those two together as opposed to trying to do two different campaigns. Running the campaigns, I'm finding, is one of the less efficient things to do with my time now that I have a full-time job. So I'd rather get more sets out and roll a few things together if necessary, just quantity wise, to get things done. That's early in the year, and I tried to get the okay from I've been looking at licenses and trying to find a way to afford licenses. There is a creative guy, a comic book artist that I know, who's creating his own. He's actually a known name, but I tried to get his okay to do this today. Never got a hold of him in time. But he and I are going to be putting together a set of cards to kick off his new horror line of comics. And that'll be out by the middle of the year. And it's really cool. I wish I could say more without his consent. But that's going to be a really, really freaking cool, because he's a great guy. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a horror set, which is right up my alley, and it's comics. So that's going to be an awesome set. And then I will finally get to my Grindhouse set. Grindhouse is a line that I want to do that's like the real grimy, grudgy, watch it at midnight, don't tell your parents that you saw it, films, stuff that would absolutely never get a set of trading cards. But there's a good dozen films that are absolutely over the top, crazy, that I really want to honor with some sets of cards. And so the first set of that is going to be out by the end of the year. Looking at that realistically, that's already 4 sets that I'm talking about putting out. So I hope that that's a 2023 and not a 2024 I'm previewing at this point. But Grindhouse will premiere with a film called The Man Who Saved the World. And if you've never heard of that, that's because you probably heard of it under another film that people call it, which I will not be referring to it as Turkish Star Wars. Anybody that's a Mystery Science Theater fan, imagine if somebody was on meth and watched Star Wars and then tried to make that movie.
Excellent. Driving double feature. What kind of movies are going to be included in that?
Drive-in double feature. I'm just finishing. That's the Satanic Rites of Dracula and Horror Express, two of my absolute favorite films because it has two of my absolute favorite actors, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, and I've gotten to do so many. There's been so many cool cards for that set. The base cards are astounding, and then the sketch cards that are coming in are just amazing. And luckily, I've been able to find so many people who are so into the Lee Cushing Hammer, like 70s horror is like so people's wheelhouse as far as so many of the artists that I've gotten to work with. And so they've really poured some awesome work out for the set. I'm actually like super excited to get that one out. It's time. It's like I said, it's about 4 months late already, and I'm looking forward to finishing designing a book that I have, and then I'll get to start kickstarting that in February.
Awesome.
Sorry, making notes here.
Oh, you're all good. And I mean, I have more notes, which means I have a 2024 list already going. I have to be a little more realistic and not as much pressure on myself. I put a lot of pressure last year on trying to get Drive-In done it in time, and I finally made the decision that I wanted to do the set right versus do it on a particular schedule. I could have tried to get it out and to ship people things, but having started a new job and other things that were going on, it would not have been like the whole point of doing my own set of cards is I want to do it the right way and do the things that I want to do. And I could have gotten something out, but it wouldn't have been the set that I want to do. By the time it comes out, it will be the set that I want to release and the kind of, things that I want to share with everybody.
So RJF is in it for 2023. That's for sure. You're not.
It feels like I'm going all in because I have, other than what I talked to you about, I have 4 more things listed that are in various stages of pre-production. I don't know if you want me to go that far ahead, but I've been developing my own brand. Sort of like I'm very jealous of like Garbage Pail Kids or the Wacky Packages, things like that. Because that brand is, everybody understands immediately what that brand is, and you can throw all sorts of parodies underneath that line. And I want to do parodies of science fiction, and I want to do parodies of horror films, and I want that to be easily understandable. So I'm developing my own set of characters that'll be adaptable to other things for parody. And so anybody that got the Sasquatch got a card for my Precious Final Moments. So Precious Final Moments is a parody of the Precious Moments characters, the real cutesy, big-headed 1970s things that everybody's aunt had like on their windowsill. Except being the final moments, all of those are it's
like the Lovers characters.
All of those characters, and it's depicting the moment right before something absolutely horrific happens. So it's the card that was out was for Halloween, and it was Michael Myers right in front of the bed holding a telephone to the girl in the bed, like all coyly in the bed with the giant big eyes, and he's just holding the phone like, well, we know how this ends.
Have you ever read the book of Bunny Suicides by Andy
No.
Wright? That has got, like you were saying, a lot of just before something terrible happens in it. So, I mean, if you can get hold of a copy of that, might give you a few ideas. Some really funny
that's cool. Yeah, that's been the hard. Oh, I just spun myself. That's been the hard thing to sort of, again, since this is my license, I'm taking a little bit more time with I've only worked with 2 artists so far, but I'm trying to figure out, it needs to be sort of the right style, because I really do want it to feel like some of the 1970s. 1970s had its own like look, the sort of the mushrooms and the colors to it and the way that the characters looked. But I also really want, like, I think everybody wants it to be, oh, this will be really disgusting and it'll be over the top, and that's the funny part. The funny part to me is the irony of, you're seeing this scene and it looks like these big doe-eyed characters in a moment of innocence. However, in the context, this is about to go very wrong. And so that's the humor in it for me, is not seeing cute characters in a gory situation. I think we've seen that a number of times. It's the fact that you understand the inference of what's about to occur is the humor in it for me, at least.
One of my favorites in that book, it's got a bunny and he's got his head under a chair leg.
Oh, Jesus.
Big guy just about to sit down. It's full of stuff like that. Brilliant.
Lindsey, you are so disturbed.
I've got a dark sense of humor.
Oh, you're gonna love this. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the easy laugh would have been to go for something like really gory or over the top, but I wanted it to be a little more. I think part of it is just that's part of the parody of like Precious Moments. Like that stuff is so saccharine sweet, and I got sick of seeing it on my parents' or on my aunt's shelves. I was like, what would this ever be good for? And then like that having saturated and sat for long enough, I think that is the humor of these like innocent characters, but they're in a horror movie. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
that promises to be fascinating.
Yeah.
We'd see it. You should team up with Lindsey for that one.
For sure. Actually, I have I have a short list of a few people I need to talk to about this. I'm trying to, again, not stress myself out, because this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th set. If I have 6 sets that I'm commissioning for at a time, that's going to really stress me out. But I'm trying to, keep forward moving progress on all of this stuff and get this stuff out as I can.
So
When it's right, it'll be out.
your first, the one that's closest to release, when do you think that one's going to come out?
Drive-in double feature. I want to kickstart that in February. The promo set and Vampire. All of that is done and in hand. I just need to package it, kickstart it, and it's ready to ship. So that'll be earliest. Then the full set of drive-in will be in the spring. So it'll kickstart probably, I would say, April, and I'll have that out by early summer. And then, I can say and schedule the rest of the year, but every time I do that, I miss all of my deadlines.
Well, we do know that those two, the Vampire and the drive-in, that'll be fairly early, actually coming right up.
The promo set and the and Avant-Garde, I actually have everything now in hand. I just need to write up the Kickstarter, finish the project that I'm on, because I can't be designing a book and running a Kickstarter campaign at the same time, at least not without some heavy drinking. And, but yeah, in February, that'll be good to go. And then I checked last night, and I have 6 pieces that are still due to me for the full set of Drive-In Double Feature 3.
Awesome.
So once I have those 6 pieces, then I have enough to start, getting that ready to print.
Fantastic. That sounds great. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
We're going to be revisiting all of you, I don't know, maybe in June or something, to see how it's all going and what's coming up next.
Oh, I'll give you a preview of that real quick. I'm really sorry that I messed up and I blew all my deadlines, but Drive-In Double Feature 3 is going to be out really soon.
All right.
My video for Die Rabbit Die says coming this summer, and summer came and went. But it's out now.
Oh, no, this summer, it's not even here yet. You're good. As long as you didn't put a number, you're set.
Last summer.
But if it's this summer now.
Then.
All right. Richard Parks, what is coming from RR Parks Cards soon, this year?
Do you want me to mention Jeremy first, or?
Whatever you feel is right. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, do Jeremy first then.
Okay, so it's going to be really brief, because I don't know how much I should actually say about it, because Jeremy's not here to say, Richard, shut up, don't say that.
A quick info thing for those of you who don't know who Jeremy is. That's Attic Cards, because not everybody, like myself, I didn't know that Jeremy somebody or other is Attic Cards. So if anybody's watching and they don't know, that's who to look up. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So he's doing a space set that's coming up soon. He's got two different lenticular 3D cards of outer space. I think one is a nebula and one is just I don't know. Well, he'll detail it later, but imagine a card with a lenticular 3D of a nebula. It was he did the design for it. Annie Chan did the lenticular 3D effect. They were shipped to me because it was a gang order, so I got to see them before anybody else, including Jeremy. And they look really neat. It like puts you into outer space to kind of immerse you in what this nebula is.
Can you reveal what the name of the set is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's called Hubble.
Oh, cool.
So it's about the Hubble telescope and what it sees and what it brought to us to see after the satellite was repaired. I can't remember when that was, but I think all of us here are old enough to remember when the Hubble satellite telescope got repaired, and then all these amazing photos started coming in. So he's got those two lenticular cards. I'm not sure what he's doing about the base set, but he does have he's got his foot in the door, and he's getting the autographs of astronauts for this set.
That is incredible. So his from Attic Cards, it'll be Hubble, all the things that you could see with the Hubble, and it's going to include autographs from the astronauts. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I can't remember the astronaut's name, and maybe that's a reveal he's going to do later. But
and that's due out when, more or less?
Oh, why don't you answer that, Ingrid? Because I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the details of what he's doing. I don't know when it's coming out, but he's not going to spring it as a surprise. So it'll be pitched like on updates that I send out and his own social media pages.
Okay.
So I mean, it's still got a ways to go.
But it's a 2023 set. Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So people will have to stay tuned for all of that. We're going to have a central page where people can kind of come and find out about all this stuff. All right. So that's for Attic Cards. What about RR Parks cards? What's happening?
Ultraman Series 2 is going to come out early in 2023. The Kickstarter ended in December. I'm still trying to get some of the remnants shipped to me on a pallet so I can start collating. Most of it is here. I was able to get four of the original Ultra 7 actors from the late 60s to sign autograph cards, which sold out in 2 weeks when I launched my pre-order. So every piece of product I have for Ultraman Series 2 is sold out that has the autograph cards, and most of everything else is sold out. So I'm very happy with that. It sold out so fast. But yeah, that'll be coming out hopefully in about 2 months if I can get the pallet arriving, this week, so I can start collating 800,000 cards and checking each for bumped corners and flaws. So
800,000 cards.
Yeah. But if someone wants to look on my Ultraman trading cards Facebook page, they'll see the photographs of this contraption I built to help me collate 20,000 cards or so at a time. It's a really looking thing. But I have test driven it, so it works and it speeds the process up.
Does it? For those who have not seen it, it looks a lot like when you go into a craft store and you have all those balls of wool in little cubby boxes. It looks a lot like that. It looks like it's very efficient.
And I did test it on. There's a subset for Ultraman Series 2 painted by David Day. It's he did 45 sketch cards, and each sketch card interlocks with another one to form a 45-piece monster puzzle, all painted. I had that printed, and that looks terrific. So I field tested my collation station, collating up all of these David Day puzzles, and it works pretty good. I had to design the thing because I have back issues, and so I can collate while I'm either standing or sitting, and adjust the pitch of the station so it can be more vertical or laid back to up to about, I don't know, 20 degrees. But it allows me a little range so that if my back is reminding me how old I am, I can adjust the collation station to, accommodate me.
Cool. That's awesome. So what else do you have? Well, of course, because I mean, that will take you no time at all to finish.
Oh, no time at all. I figure 6 weeks of 10 hours a day if I don't take a
God.
break.
Wow.
Because I have no helpers this time.
Do you have any other sets on that scale that will you be doing another Ultraman set of the same?
Oh yeah, Ultraman Series 3 is at the end of 2023. I've already got it started. I think I've gotten in sketch cards from about 120 artists. So the sketch cards for Ultraman Series 3 are already here. I've invited Elisabetta Stojnec back and Claudio Macari back. One is in Romania, one is in Italy, and they've been on my project since day one with Three Stooges Series 1. So I keep inviting them back. But yeah, the only two big projects I have are Ultraman Series 2, which is kind of nowish, and Ultraman Series 3, which is probably going to be around Christmas, because I have to nest in my 10th annual Halloween event, which is in October. My Halloween event is going to have the usual, the monster choke and gag, Halloween trick or treat, the final installment of Quartermass of the Pit. Paul Maitland and I are doing a set. I want to do a follow-up sequel set of Shiver Bones with Matthew Kirsch. I've only ever read it. I've never heard it pronounced, so I don't. So sorry, Matthew, if I'm really screwing up your name there. But he did the Series 1 artwork for this last Halloween. And if anyone commented to me about Halloween, they were talking about how they liked Shiver Bones. So I want to do a Shiver Bones Series 2. So Matthew and I are got to work that out. I also want to include in my Halloween 10th anniversary a paperback book about the first 10 years of me publishing and all the gruesome, horrible licensing situations and disasters, so that anyone else who wants to become a publisher can read this book and avoid everything that I did. It's a book of how not to do something.
So you're really coming out with that book later this year, then finally, because
it's 90% written, because it's basically I'm just going to be editing and laying out the production journal that I've kept for the last 10 years. So it's going to have to be edited down because that's over like 200 pages, and one of my goals is to design the book so that 1 page a day can be written for people who need something in their bathroom to read while they're taking care of business. It'll be one of those kind of books. It's not going to be a novella or novel kind of thing. It's like, okay, I'm up to page 13, so I'm regular this month.
That's proposed.
Another project is called Ancient Egypt, that Ingrid and I are doing as a joint production between Long Dog and RR Parks Cards. I tackled Ancient Egypt already to the extent that the toughest part would be having relic cards. So I made sure that I've already got the relics for Ancient Egypt, which will include mummy and stone beads from 600 to 900 BC, and actual mummy. Not his meat, but it's legitimate, authenticated mummy wrappings, also from 600 to 900 BC. So the two relic cards are basically parts of a mummy. So people can have a genuine Egyptian mummy in their trading card collection.
Dang.
Some of the sets, some of the card sets are, it's sort of like a collection of subsets. It's not like one big 50 card set with a few special cards. It's several subsets of 9 to 18 cards. Um, so one of the subsets is a primer on translittering ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics into ancient Greek and then into English. So with the basic knowledge with that card set, people can go to any tomb or any hieroglyphic, online, or if they're going to go to Egypt, and actually transliterate what they're reading, because the Egyptian hieroglyphics were consistent through all the dynasties and periods.
That is so cool. You can actually bring your card collection with you to translate stuff. That's just awesome.
And then another subset in that, Ingrid is going to be working on some artwork, and we're still figuring out, okay, what kind of stock do we want this artwork in? What kind of artwork? But if you've seen Ingrid's, paintings before, and you have because you're watching, PiP. So, I mean, you have seen her stuff before. So you can imagine her style with her ability to understand surfaces and lighting, and then imagine that with Egyptian subject.
Just all the colors. I can't wait to paint all those cool Egyptian blues and yellows and all that neat stuff. I can't wait.
Are you going to do any comparisons of what the stuff looked like when it was first built and what it looks like today, or anything like that? Because weren't they marble, the pyramid?
Limestone, yeah. I guess they used to be faced with marble, but that's all been, stolen to build other stuff. Back, thousands of years ago. Those tombs got robbed of, the top of the pyramid used to be covered in gold. And of course, that's long gone. And all the pyramids used to be faced with a polished, either marble or a polished limestone, and that's been all robbed. But yeah, I do want to have a subset, which would include the artwork of David Roberts on the front, who did. I mean, if someone's into antique prints, they know David Roberts is known for his series of 250 something lithographs from 1830 or 1829 to 1840 of all the major sites in Egypt, as well as Jerusalem and Lebanon and Jordan. But most of his most classic ones are scenes in Egypt. So there's a card set showing on the front a David Roberts, view of the pyramids. And then on the back, I want to have the photos that are from the same vantage point, but more current. So we can see what it looks like then and now.
Very good.
I can't wait. What else do you have?
Well, some of the stuff is still kind of on the secret list because I'm haggling with licensing. Okay. I've got a slasher film card set that I want to do. It's kind of tricky because the licensor says no Kickstarter for you. So I've got to try to market this thing without using my usual fallback, the Kickstarter as the pre-order platform. I'm trying to line up Manos Series 3, Manos Returns. So that'll be a third set. I've got an artist. I'm still waiting on some stuff from her, but it's basically going to be another joint project with Jackie Naaman Jones, who plays Debbie in the original Manos. We've become friends and we've done some projects together. And it's gonna focus on the sequel to Manos: The Hands of Fate, which is called Manos Returns. It also stars Tom Naaman, who played the original Master in Manos. I'm sorry, he played he played the Master in Manos. I get Master and Manos confused sometimes, but it also, the movie also starred Jackie Jones. So it's, little Debbie all grown up now. And then I'll let you talk about dragons.
Yes, we'll go over to Lindsey first. I'd like you to talk about what you've coming up with Leg Day Cards, Lindsey. And actually, Leg Day Cards is pretty new. How long have you actually had the moniker?
Maybe 8 months or so.
Has it been
About
8
8 months ago, I announced it. The first set I brought out is Die Rabbit Die. Cute bunny characters slashing each other's bits, if you like. But that's live on Kickstarter now. It's a 36. Most of my sets I'm going to try for 36 cards. I think that's a good number to go for. It's currently up to about 1,900 at the moment in British pounds.
Which is in Canadian, that's about 3,000 something.
And in the US, that's about 2,300.
Yeah. Which is
I'm over the moon that it's doing that. I didn't even know if it'd get funded, but people seem to be liking it, so fingers crossed. Because I'd like to do another series too. I've already designed another 6 characters for it, so that'd be nice to keep it going. When that's done, I've got Weird Behaviour, which is just a play on words that have got the word "be" in. So boobies and rugby and, all that thing. Just bees dressed as different things, doing different things.
the buzz, right? The buzz bees doing the buzz bees, the little insects. Okay. I'm trying to get it all straight with the bees, the letter bees. I can't wait to see that.
That one, that I should be able to get that one out fairly quickly. I don't know which one to do next after Die Rabbit Die. I haven't decided, because I also, following on from what Richard said, I wanted to do Patas the Paws of Fate and do Manos but with cats. I still need to speak to Jackie to see if she's okay with that. And it'd be cool to get like maybe some autographs from Jackie or something. I'll think about it a bit more in depth when I've got this one sorted. There's Krampus, which if you know anything about Attic cards, a while ago they did a Krampus set, and I created a little character that's half cat, half Krampus. So Krampus double S. So I'm going to do a calendar and a card set with that.
That is so cool. That's really
I'm really looking forward to that one. It's going to be good. But this is a bit of advice that I got from Richard Parks.
Uh-oh.
I do the add-ons for Die Rabbit Die are doing really well. I've only got like one left. Like all the sketch cards, they've all gone because I did the card. I didn't do 5x7 base cards. I did them sketch card size, and they've gone really well as rewards. And I'm not going to be able to do that with Krampus because it's going to be a calendar, so it needs to be able to be blown up. So
those sketch cards that are being sold on your Kickstarter, those are the actual production art, right?
Yeah.
I
can't believe how well they're going. Crazy. The other one last thing. Every Halloween set, me and Richard have been doing Kitty Eerie, and after the Halloween set this year, I wanted to make like excuse me, a 30 card set of Kitty Eerie. So it'd be like those 3 series combined. So you can just buy it, because I've got my tuck boxes now, and I know how much I can fit in them. And so I'll need one more set of Kitty Eerie before I can start selling those as a pack. I think that's about everything. I think that's enough for a year, really.
This is your first year as a card producer.
Excuse me, getting over a virus. I've still got the cough. First year. I'm probably not going to get all that done this year, but those are the things I'm hoping to get done.
But it's always better to have more lined up than you can actually do.
I've got ideas apart from that, but it's just like you say, you can only do so much in a year.
But for those who are interested, what you have going right now is your Die Rabbit Die. And then after that, you've got which one? You had a promo card that you're supposed to send.
Oh God, I didn't mention Cute Afflictions either.
Afflictions, yes.
So one of my friends, she makes handmade dolls, and I did a piece of artwork of her doll. and the sets are going to be that me bringing her dolls to life, on a card. So that people find those quite cute. So hopefully I'll get around to that as well. Oh, I wish there was more hours in a day.
Yes.
We all know about that. So you've got Die Rabbit Die, then you've got Cute Afflictions, you have Krampus. Well, Krampus and Die Rabbit Die are for sure. And then you had the puss thing, Menno Puss.
Rabbit Die, Weird Behaviour, Krampus, Cute Afflictions, Patas, The Paws of Fate, and Kitty Eerie.
Okay. Okay.
And definitely point out that Die Rabbit Die is still live and running right now on Kickstarter.
It is. It's live. You can go and support it. Please support it. Help me.
All right. Well, then I'll tackle quickly mine, and then we'll do a last roundup. Oh, first, before I do mine, that's right. Elaine Perna did say that they are doing. They will have their Classic Mythology 4 set coming out this year. For those of you who are a fan of Classic Mythology, I believe they're still hiring artists. You'd have to ask Perna Studios about that. She said there's not really that much more to say about it, but it should be out in June. So wherever you follow Perna Studios, do go over there and check up on that one. Their classic, well, all their sets are really popular, and they usually sell out pretty quickly. So do go over there and deal with that. And then as for me, I am now Long Dog Cards. Go figure that one out. I have no idea why, but the long dog is right there on the bed. So,
But you're fairly long as well, aren't you, Ingrid? You're pretty tall.
yeah, you can say that. The dog is skinnier than I am.
Not a dog, but you're very long.
Yeah, I'm pretty tall. That's true. But for my very first set, first of all, I have to thank all the publishers for encouraging both Lindsey and I to kind of go off and, shuffle on, get out of the nest, start doing your own things and all that stuff. So that's, it means a lot for other people to encourage us and stuff like that. So first of all, the podcast itself, the Kickstarter for that is a success. So it's for sure that this podcast will continue for a year. Lindsey is stuck with me. We have a backup host, but as of right now, we are still Lindsey and Ingrid bothering the heck out of you with all our stuff.
And your Kickstarter it's live right now.
Yes, it is live right now. It only has about 7 days left. So by the time this comes out, there might be 1 day left, 2 days or something like that.
To jump on it.
Yes, please jump on it. It helps. The basic fees are covered, but there's a lot of time involved in organizing all these independent publishers and artists and stuff like that. But
the more funding we get, we can probably do giveaways and bits and bobs in the future. Like if we've got a bit of a kitty there, we can,
Yes, please let us know if there's something you'd like us to, like a box of cards, an unopened box of cards, or sketchbooks or tools or something. Let us know if there's something that you'd like us to offer as a giveaway. It'd be fun, actually. As for Long Dog Cards, my very first solo set is Dragons. Yes, I'm so excited. Fire, flames, dark, gloomy, all that cool stuff. I'm doing it with R.R. Parks. He's my mentor, my teacher for the moment. So we're kind of doing it sort of together. It is my set, but we're doing it together. He is helping me because there are a lot of things that I don't know. And I go cry on Lindsey's shoulder every time I feel a little overwhelmed, or Richard's sending me too many emails, or I'm So yeah. But that'll be I think it'll be about a 36 card set. I think that's what it was going to be. There are relic cards in this set. There are autographs. Yes, think about that. More info after the set is released. I'll tell you how we got those dragons to sign the cards. It took prosthesis to get them to be able to hold the pen.
I want to know how you got the scales for the relic cards.
That was Richard's department. You'll have to. So yeah, that's coming out. There'll be a base cards. I'm painting all the base cards. And then there'll be extras. There'll be a lenticular. I'm hoping there'll be a metal card if I can get my design done in time. And if Jacob has time to take care of me before the set is due. The Kickstarter should be sometime in February. I'm hoping it might go to March, but it should be in February. So do stay tuned for that. At the moment, all my original art is sketched on, I think it's about 4x6, 5x7. I may shrink it down and paint it all on sketch cards to have original art on sketch cards, but at the moment,
It's worked really well on the Kickstarter. I must admit, it has worked really well.
I can imagine.
Do both.
Yeah, it could be, and I wanted to do a very small subset of watercolors if I have the time to do that, maybe 3 cards of watercolor dragons. I love playing with watercolors, and I got all these Daniel Smith colors that I want to play with. So I might try to do 3 of those. I wanted to do 1 graphite card. These are all things if I have the time to do. So that set is definitely coming out spring at the very latest. So stay on tune for that. What else did I have? Well, I'm doing the Egypt set with R.R. Parks, and I cannot wait to paint all that stuff. I love Egyptian colors. I have done 2 actual Egyptian paintings on trading card sides that have been sold a long time ago, and they were a ton of fun and had lots of attention. People really like those of Tutankhamen, Nefertiti. So I'm just going to keep right on going with that. Lots and lots of fun with that. More news to be coming on that in a few months, but I'll be on board with that one. And then what else? I forgot to look up all my notes on what I'm doing myself for this particular. So what else did I have? Oh yes, I'm doing a mini card set of motorcycles, but that's a super simple, maybe 4 or 5, 6 at the most cards. That's just a super simple set that I will be taking. Oh, and the beauty of horses. That's right. The beauty
When
of
you've done your motorcycles, you have to paint little dragons to go on top of them as well, and then you can put that in your set.
I'll do
the artwork.
We could do a really small, short, actually combined set. You and me, Lindsey, Leg Day, and Long Dog, and you're doing the dragons that go on the motorcycles. I'm on board with that. Totally.
I'll have to do that.
Small set. It wouldn't take too much time.
I'll get that. So much fun.
So, but then lastly, I have my Beauty of Horses. It's a collection of cards of horses, just very simple, just because I love horses. I used to work with them, and I've got a collection of 9 already done, ready to go. And I would like to do a few more watercolor horses to maybe add on to an 18 card set, perhaps, possibly, maybe more, but probably only 18 cards. So that's what I have. I've got my dragons, my mini motorcycle set, and then the Egyptian set, which I can't wait, but that's later in the year, and then the horses set, which will probably be around summer. And that's all for me.
There's so many different horses you can do, isn't there? I had a look at them and the different breeds. The difference is subtle, but it's there, isn't it?
I have a plan that I've had in the back of my head for a long time. I had done illustrations for this is almost 20 years ago now, for the history of the Canadian horse, because there's quite the history with the French horses and the German horses, and then having them over here with the there's a theory that they were mixed with an American horse called the Morgan horse, and that the Canadian horse may have evolved from that. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
Have a favorite horse?
When I used to ride all the time, I liked very much mixed breed horses, just because they're usually a little bit smarter. The really strict, the very inbred horses can tend to be a little bit fragile and skittish and weird and stuff like that. But aesthetics wise, to paint, well, of course, Arabians are amazing, But you also have, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the country for fear of what's happening in the world, but there's a Russian horse called the Akalteki. I'm sorry. They are really particular. They have a coat that's metallic. It looks like it looks like living metal. I don't know what they did to those poor horses, but they have coats that are like, they look like metal, and they are very original. Their conformation is a little lacking. They have a bit of a U-neck and stuff like that, but they have a very particular coat. They are unusual.
Well,
And
if
then,
anyone can capture all the different horses, it's you, I think.
and
You'll
then
be able to see
you've
this.
got all the horses from the steppes, which of course come fairly directly from Przalski's and all those more primitive horses way back when, and then you've got, of course, the horses that were imported into Mexico by Cortez, was it, or something?
I don't know. You're the horse historian.
Anyways, there's a lot. I would love to do something like that. The horses is part of humanity, of human history. Horses was the first. It was the first Tesla, if you like. So
I like my Shire
I
horses with
guess
big
so.
fluffy feet. Fluffy feet.
deer horses. Okay. So that's pretty much all on my part, anyways. So the Richards, are you all anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, I hope not. I've got too much on my schedule already. I don't need to add a thing.
All right, then. Well, where can people go to find out about all these sets that we're all doing? Like for Mr. Fox, where can they go? Do you have a mailing list they should sign up for? Do you have a main page?
I don't maintain a mailing list. However, RJF, just the letters RJF as in run, jump, fly -imagedesign.com is my website. I am RJF Image
Sorry,
Design
can I
on
ask
Kickstarter as well.
who hosts your website?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask who hosts your website?
Sadly, me. It's a Wix site that I designed.
Oh, is it Wix? Right.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
The problem is it's a site I started before I even was doing card publishing, and so I rolled it out as a page of my website that I was trying to get other design work with. So I've never moved it to its own page or done anything else because I do it all and I don't want to start another web page.
But I was
so-
just about to launch a Wix site, and they upped the price by about £8. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go with you guys now. So I'm a bit.
There is the price, but the functionality and how clean it is, it looks like a really good site and it's very easy. There's a few tricks as far as creating the site, but as far as navigation from the user end, it's very clean and people are able to navigate it, and the shop and everything else is fairly easy, which is why I've continued to use it. If I change stuff up, I got to send everybody to a new place, or I have to, recode or rebuild everything else. So, and like I said, frankly, it just looks really nice and clean. So it's a nice presentation for the material. So since I started the website in 2016. And now I'm 6-7 years in, and it would be literally starting over and rebuilding the whole thing from scratch, and that would be a months-long process that I would just I'd be 3 months further behind on publishing cards.
And the address of your website is
RJF as in run, jump, fly, the 3 letters, RJF hyphen imagedesign.com.
Gotcha. Okay. So everybody goes there to find out more about all the stuff that you've got coming out with your.
Is there a way to find you on like Kickstarter to look at your previous Kickstarters and everything?
It's the same RJF image design on Kickstarter.
That's a big mistake I made when I started my book projects. I didn't know that I had to pick a name and that would be it forever. Now it's really hard to find me on Kickstarter because I did it wrong. I don't think I can change it.
Oh, you
What's
can't
your,
change it now? Because I did change. Originally, I was just Richard Fowlks, and nobody knows how to spell or say my last name.
How do you do it? Like mine,
So,
I cannot change it won't let me.
oh, I changed mine. It's been when I did my first set of cards in 2019, I could still change. So that may have ended that.
Ooh, I don't like that.
signed up
Yeah.
for this? They said it was pretty permanent.
Yeah. I was clueless when I started I was such a baby back then. I didn't know nothing. So now I'm stuck with a really long name plus whatever I'm working on at the end of it. It sucks. All you people out there, pick your names right.
Yeah, it's hard. Branding is like a real thing. Every time I come on here, I talk in different ways about branding, like branding yourself, branding your cards, branding, like finding ways to think about those in that little way. And it's the hardest things. That's one of the most nerve-wracking things about starting out is you don't want to make one of those initial,
Yeah.
mistakes
It
right
makes
from the
you
very
afraid
beginning.
to actually commit to something.
Like having a hyphen in your website's name, that is the dumbest thing you could ever do. Why did I do that? I still, every time I explain it, and my initials, it's a longer story. Like, why is it RJF? Everybody's like, why is it RJF? Why is it RJF? Because nobody can spell Fowlks. And I wanted to have something that was a personal, like me in the actual name. At the time I was trying to get design work, not work on cards. And so what I was doing is I was selling myself personally, and nobody could say or spell my last name. So I had to come up with everything that I initialed was RJF. So my very first logo was my signature in a little cartoon word bubble, and that visually made a lot of sense. But now that I'm into card publishing and doing like other things, it doesn't necessarily work. But I have the website is my main platform, so I don't want to go away and have multiple. It is, yeah. Branding is everything. It's insane trying to get people to understand as quickly as they can what you are, what your product is, and not confuse that communication is really tough.
And still keep it versatile. I mean, the more generic it is, the more like you get an idea to do something, but if it doesn't match your logo or brand name, then it's like it won't fit. So as long as someone creates a logo and a brand name that's versatile, so that 2 years from now when they decide they want to do something
Else.
besides what they usually do,
Yeah.
it's still, the logo still works with the product.
Yeah, it's so hard to have that sort of foresight. I mean, I never would have, when I was starting things, thought, well, what if just in case I'm starting to brand my own, line of cards, or if I want to, be associated with comic books somehow, how do you fit all of this stuff in? I just did something that really worked for the design work that I was doing at the time. And that was great at the time. And, growing out of that, you definitely noticed, like looking back. And then what do?
Oh, yeah.
You either rebrand yourself and you start over, or you figure a way to push on through it. And everyone will ask you, why in the world do you have that name for your website?
I love the design aspect of branding, like
Yes.
coming up with new logos and fonts and stuff, and it's all the internet stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's all branding is it's communicating. How do you communicate the quickest and easiest? It's the merging of whatever the word meaning is and the visual meaning.
I mean, I find car logos fascinating, like Mercedes, that's meant to represent a steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Got different ones that are supposed to be like a road going into the distance, but they're so simple.
And even typography has like communication and meanings, like throwing I next to phone. All of a sudden you've branded by putting the letter I next to anything. And so that's like a genius bit of like branding to just put a single letter in. So you can do it with just typography. You can do it visually by the way that you see things. There are certain colors that are certain companies' colors. Like, there's a certain shade of teal that looks like this particular company, or you always associate it with McDonald's. Yellow has a little bit of
copyright yellow and red together, didn't they?
Yeah, together. And it's not even just a straight yellow. It's there's a little bit of magenta in the yellow, because it's not just a pure yellow. So it's like, yeah, it's everything. It's the best way to communicate as quickly as possible, that stuff.
So to find sorry to cut you like this, but we're gonna have to kind of roll it on
Oh, I
out.
got on the jag again.
rtf/imagedesign.com and
Yes.
hyphen, I'm sorry. Everything will be in the show notes below, all the links to your sites. Richard Parks, where do people go to get on your email list or your website, or where do they find you for what you're putting out this year?
Well, my website is one word, rrparkscards.com. They can get on my email list by when they go to the website, they just click on contact and they can email me their email address. I am not Office Depot or Kinko's. I do not send out an email every other day at nauseam. I generally I send them out about 4 or 5 times a year or less, and I generally send them out right before I launch a new series. So now, of course, you'll get a ridiculous amount of communication from me if you make the mistake of pledging on one of my Kickstarters, because I send out updates all the time. But I also, with those updates, you can ignore like 90% of them, and I will only put the word important in an update title if it's something important. Otherwise, it's just behind the scenes. Richard wanted to spend 30 minutes typing, and you can just glance over that or just ignore it. So I'll always use the word important in an update if it's something to actually read. But for the email list, you just click on services, or you click on contact, and then just email me your email address. I'll add it to my MailChimp email address directory, and then you can always you can unsubscribe anytime. Most of the information I post, though, is in the 2 Facebook groups that I have. One group is created by Thomas Marweed, and that's the Mystery Science Theater Trading Cards group on Facebook. So that's where I post a lot of stuff. And right now, because I'm big into the Ultraman cards, I've got roughly 800 members in the group called Ultraman Trading Cards. And I post about Ultraman there, but also if I've got another project in the works, I'll talk about it there too. So, I mean, there's 2 different groups on Facebook you can go to. I left Twitter when someone became the boss of it. So I haven't had Twitter for a few weeks now, or a month or whatever. And I don't use Instagram or Reddit, or I'm not young enough to use TikTok. So it's just Facebook for me.
Okay. Great. Lindsey, what about you? Where can people get on your email list now that you have one?
I have a MailChimp, and you'll be able to find that link if you go to my page on Facebook, which is Leg Day Cards on Facebook.
Do you have a website?
Well, as I was saying earlier, I was just about to launch it, and then I realised they'd upped the price. So I've been dealing with getting over that before I actually launch it. Because you have an idea in your head of what you're going to pay, and then you suddenly
No, totally. But how much is it a month for you?
When I was originally going to launch it, it was something like 13, 12, 13, maybe a bit less, and it's gone up to like 18 now.
That's in UK money? That's
that's in pounds, Great British pounds.
18? My God, that's like $28 Canadian. That's a lot.
I mean, if I weren't getting the traffic there to make that back, I mean, I might do. I don't know, but I need that option for people to be able to buy on it. Otherwise, there's no point having it. It's supposed to be like a point, a place where you can buy the things. So I think I was putting it off until I had more choice of things to buy, before launching it. Because if you go to a website and there's nothing on it, like.
So for now, So for now, it's Facebook that people can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Leg Day Cards or Cartoon Cosplay.
Okay.
Facebook now, it compartmentalizes your messages, doesn't it? It doesn't. If you click on your profile, it'll show you all your other pages and what you've got there, whereas it used to show you them all at once. So I'd say go to Leg Day Cards and I will definitely see it.
Okay. And you're on Instagram?
Cartoon cosplaying on Instagram, or there is leg day cards on Instagram as well.
I've been telling you the leg day cards because that
I
wasn't.
don't know Twitter details, so leg day cards was on Twitter, but I can't remember the details. I'm not on Reddit or anything like that.
I want to point out something about Facebook. I think it happened about 3 or 4 months ago, maybe more. That like Lindsey was just saying, you know, she's got her leg day cards page, and then she's got her cartoon cosplay, and I think she's got a personal account. But if someone tries to message you on Facebook, their message might go to a folder called Meta Business. I don't know if that's the same in the UK as it is in the US, but every once in a while, someone will message me on my Richard Parks account. It won't pop up as messages. I won't even know someone sent that message unless I decide, you know, sometime to go to Meta Business and then look at the bold font messages to see that someone has messaged me yesterday, 2 months ago, whatever. So, you know, I think Lindsey is really good about responding quickly. So if you send Lindsey or me or anybody a message and you don't get a response, you know, within a day or, you know, a couple days.
Because we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to try messaging that person again using one of their other pages so that your message will pop up.
Or I think we all have email addresses. What's your email, Lindsey?
The email is zoidart@hotmail.co.uk.
That's Zoidart. Okay.
Yeah. That was my nickname. Like, there's only a couple of people who call me that now, but
Again, this sounds confusing, but all the info will be in the show notes below. Great. Okay, so if you want to find me, well, I'm pretty much everywhere, but go to www.ingridkvhardy.com. All my links to wherever you can find me are there. My MailChimp mailing list is on the right-hand side. Just click it and sign up. I also have a Patreon account. If you want to become a Patreon, that's Ingrid Hardy. That's patreon.com/ingridhardy.com. I'm on Instagram as hardy.ingrid. Kickstarter, I would give you that, except that's, again, I made the boo-boo of putting a huge long, anyways. I'll fix that somehow. I don't know how. But anyway, want to find me, go to my website. I'm everywhere. Or my email is ingridhardy32@gmail.com, and I reply within minutes usually. If I don't, it's because I didn't see it. All right.
And I believe Jeremy's
yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
is Attic Cards, but there's a hyphen, so I think it's attic-cards.com. Sorry, Jeremy, if it was an underscore or a space, but I believe it's right. We'll correct it for the program notes. I'll double check and see what it is. He's on Facebook as Attic Cards, and again, I'll research that so I give Ingrid the correct configuration of his link there, and then I guess Ingrid can talk about where to find Perna.
Perna has they are on DeviantArt still. That's where they may put a lot of their things, and I don't remember what the address is, but I will get it. It's, I think, DeviantArt/Perna Studios is probably where to find it. They are also on Facebook, where you can find them, I think, as Perna Studios, if I remember right. But I will get all the links for them. And if they're elsewhere, that I don't know, but all the links to everybody will be there. So just scroll on down below and you will find. Thank you to all of you for getting up at before the sunrise. People don't know how early you guys got up. You were up at 5 in the morning to join.
4:30 in the morning.
4:30. So we'll be getting up this early again, I guess, in, I don't know, May or something like that, and we'll see what's up with how it went and what's coming up again. So yeah, the small publishers, number 3, done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, thank you, Rich. Thank you, Richard, Lindsey. Always Always
An honorable mention for Jeremy, who
an
tried.
honorable mention for Jeremy. I'm so sorry, Jeremy. I keep forgetting you.
And he was in his business attire. He was
Yep.
all flashy businessman, and oh, what shame. Never mind.
He was going to class the place up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's lovely to see you guys again.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so
wonderful.
much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone. Great.